It's Friday, September 16, 2022. Want to do a quick video today and recap a little bit about what happened in these markets and talk a little bit about some of the news that has come out. Please comment down below, give us your thoughts, let us know your opinions on this. Markets across the board down today. Dow Jones closes down 139, NASDAQ down about 104. What's interesting is the Dow Jones at one point when I was watching the markets this morning was down 414 points. NASDAQ was down over 200. So they did come back a bit. And why is that? With the news that we got today, especially the FedEx news, and we'll talk about that in a minute, it's interesting that we didn't see more damage than we saw today. And why is that? And I was talking to my good friend Matt today, and you know, we believe that it's the hope that these markets are hoping, that they have hope that the Fed is going to pivot, reverse course, and very, very shortly begin to lower interest rates. And that's about the only thing that really explains why the markets came back a bit today and why they weren't down more. What do you think about that? Why were the markets not down more with the terrible news we got today when the Dow Jones was down 414 points earlier and closes down only 139 points? What allowed the markets to come back a bit? And the only thing that I can blame that on is that there is a hope out there in these markets that the Fed is going to pivot. And I don't believe the Fed is going to pivot. Let me know what you think. Is the Fed going to pivot? They're not going to pivot this year, that's for sure. And I don't believe they're going to do it next year because Jerome Powell knows if he does, whatever legacy he has, he will go down in the history books as the Fed chairman that brought in hyperinflation. He would rather go down in the history books as the Fed chairman who brought in a recession, even a depression, before he goes down in the history books as the Fed who brought in hyperinflation. If we pivot at this point, it will show so much weakness. It will alert the entire globe of just how out of control and how bad things are here in the U.S. And the U.S. dollar will be done. We will see massive inflation come to America. And I think Jerome Powell knows that. And I don't think he's going to be the guy that goes down with the sinking ship. I think he'd rather burn down the economy and the housing market before he allows hyperinflation to take over in America. Let me know your thoughts on that. But let's talk a little bit about the news here. FedEx CEO says expect the economy to enter a worldwide recession. FedEx stock today was down over 21%. Year to date, down over 37%. And when you hear the words worldwide recession, that tells you and I there is nowhere to hide. This thing is going to be really, really bad. And to me, this destroys the theory that the economy is doing fine, that the economy is recovering. To me, when you see what just happened to FedEx and their forward guidance and what's happening to their stock and the amount of closures and layoffs coming to FedEx, this tells us right here, right now, that this economy is extremely bad. And some more news that we're getting is third quarter GDP quite possibly could be negative. That would give us now 3 negative quarters. There's no way the economy is recovering. There's no way we're not in a recession. We are in a recession. We are heading into a major depression, probably a global depression. Yahoo News. Now, this is a real fascinating article and one that I think we should all take notice. 5 bank heists in a day as Lebanese demand their frozen savings. Now, we talk about not keeping all of our money in the bank, getting out of the system, not being 100% tied into the system. But this is really, I mean, this is scary stuff when you think about what's happening in Lebanon right now. This is a full-on theft of the people's money. Get this, depositors stormed their banks on Friday to unlock frozen accounts, to go in and get their own money out. They're robbing their own banks to get their own money out. In the past week, 7 banks have been targeted by depositors. Imagine having your money trapped in a bank when you need to pay your bills, when you need to go to the store and you need to get food, when you need to feed your family, and you put your money in a bank and the bank says, sorry, you can't have your money back. It is now frozen. It is now trapped. It is ours. You cannot touch it. Currency in Lebanon has lost 90% of its value. Let me repeat that. 90% of its value. And people laugh here in the US that could never happen here. They believe their money could never be locked out because, oh, it's FDIC insured. Yeah, okay, that sounds nice. Just remember that the FDIC insures billions of dollars of depositor money, but remember there are trillions of dollars of depositor money. How long would you have to wait if you were even able to get your money back from FDIC? How long would you have to wait? Would you have to wait 90 days? 6 months, a year? And how do you insure trillions of dollars with billions of dollars? But we really need to pay attention to things like this where people don't want to be thieves. They don't want to break laws. They just want what is theirs. They want their money. They trusted these banks, and now they're having to rob the banks to get their own money back. That just is absolute insanity when you think about it. And think about a currency losing 90% of its value. Think that can't happen here? It's already begun, ladies and gentlemen. It is already begun. And as a reminder, don't keep all your money in the bank. These banks are some of the biggest criminal elements on planet Earth. These banks are another reason why we're in so much trouble, why the economy is in so much trouble. All the money printing, the 0% interest rates, all the manipulation, market manipulation, gold and silver manipulation. You see the big fines that these banks have encountered over the years, slap on the wrist. But they are some of the biggest criminals on planet Earth, yet we trust our futures, all of our money, our pensions, with these institutions that have robbed us of billions and billions of dollars and just get a slap on the wrist. So be very, very cautious where you keep your money. Median mortgage payment up 66% from a year ago at today's average interest rate. How does the housing market survive this? Again, let me repeat this. Median mortgage payment up 66% from a year ago at today's average interest rate. Mortgage payments are up 38.5% since the beginning of this year, and they're going to go up a lot more. Now, a lot of people will say, well, 6.06%, that's normal. That's normal. Yes, that would be considered normal. The thing that is not normal is when a $200,000 house is now $450,000 or $500,000 from 2 years ago. That's not normal. And that's the problem here. Yes, you can have normal rates at 5, 6, 7%, but when homes are going up 40% a year, that's not normal, and that is doing a lot of damage to the home buyers out there. They cannot keep up with this. Of course, on top of that, you have massive inflation, the cost of everything going up, and it's not slowing down. But the argument that I always hear is, oh, 6%, 5%, 7%, that's normal. Yes, I understand that. But what is not normal is when homes are going up 40, 50% a year, this is doing critical damage to the home buyer. And it's going to have to correct here, and it's going to. And this is why we're going to see a housing crash. And it's coming because you cannot have homes this overvalued, which of course was all artificially done with very, very low rates, all the money printing, the Fed buying mortgage-backed securities and just inflating this bubble. Now all of this is coming to an end, and we're going to see this bubble burst, and we're beginning to see the air come out of it right now. Redfin predicts sharpest turn in housing market since 2008 crash. We haven't seen interest rates this high right now, a little bit over 6% since 2008, 2007, and they're going higher. Rates are up, as I said, nearly 40% this year alone. People don't have that extra 40% in order to buy a home. They just don't. And that's why we're going to see prices come down. Something is going to give here, ladies and gentlemen. It's either the buyers are going to give or the sellers are going to give. And I guarantee you it's going to be the sellers that give. Another article I want to share with all of you today comes from wolfstreet.com. The Fed stopped buying mortgage-backed securities today. This is a date that will go down in history. Going forward, after October 27th of 2022, after the last mortgage-backed securities have shown up on the chart, the upticks will disappear off the chart. The decline will be steeper and faster. Now, the purpose of mortgage-backed securities, the purpose of purchasing of these mortgage-backed securities was to repress mortgage rates and inflate home prices. The process has already started to reverse. You're all seeing that right now. And see, here's what we're going to witness. As the Fed steps away from the market, as the Fed stops buying stocks, buying bonds, buying mortgage-backed securities, as the Fed steps away, tightens the balance sheet, raises interest rates, we're going to find out that the markets basically were a fraud and a scam. And it was all propped up by the Federal Reserve. It wasn't propped up by a booming economy. It wasn't propped up because everybody was making more money. It was all propped up because the Fed was buying mortgage-backed securities, the Fed was buying stocks, the Fed was buying bonds, the Fed was, printing all this money and suppressing rates. And so we had this huge boom in the housing market, in the economy, and it was all fake. And now we're going to find out, and people are going to find out that without the Fed, the whole thing crashes. And now we're going to continue to watch markets implode. We're going to watch the housing market come down. We're going to continue to watch the economy collapse. 1.3 million jobs were the result of double counting this year, Heritage Economist says. Of the 5.8 million jobs noted as recovered in the last year, roughly 1.3 million were the result of double counting. In August, double counting accounted for 208,000 jobs. The establishment survey allows for a person with two jobs to count as two jobs. The household survey, on the other hand, counts somebody with two jobs as one job. So again, it's more manipulation, it's more magic tricks, and it's more people having to work two or three jobs. And they're going to count, if you're working three jobs, well, the establishment survey counts that as three jobs. You're working three jobs, so that's three jobs. When in reality, it's one job. It's one person working three part-time jobs. The hedge, imports to Los Angeles, America's largest port, plunged 17% in August. Lowest import total in Los Angeles for the month of August since 2014. So are they shipping more to the East Coast? Are they shipping more to Long Beach? Do we have canceled production orders out of Asia? Is the consumer buying less? Comment down below. Why now are we seeing the amount of imports coming to Los Angeles? Why is it plunging? Here's another one from the hedge. Uber tumbles after admitting cybersecurity incident. The network, Uber's network, was breached yesterday, and law enforcement, according to this article, was notified. The hacker gained access to the company's office messaging app called Slack and used it to post a message to Uber employees. Now, I bring this article up because just as banking, how they can steal your money, think about what can be stolen online. Think about how you can be shut out of your money. How, if you go to your banking app, what if it's hijacked? What if it's attacked? What if it's shut down and you can't access your funds? I mean, just think about what other countries can do to us right now. Think about what these criminals now can do and how easy it is to break into the banking system, to break into a bank account, to shut it all down. What would people do if they could not access their money for 2 days, 3 days, a week, a month? So be very, very cautious. And if you're keeping all your money on a computer screen, I think you're very, very vulnerable to theft. Don't rely on the system. Don't keep everything on a computer. You need now, so important now, to be your own central bank. And I know people will say that your money oh, if you keep it in a safe, somebody can steal it. Somebody can put a gun to your head. Very true, but how easy now is it for somebody just to press a button and take everything you have? Now, what if they don't believe in your beliefs? What if they don't like what you think politically, religiously? What if they don't like your opinion? What if some group doesn't like that and just presses a button and takes everything, or freezes your account, says that you can't access your account for whatever reason? We're seeing that happening all over the world now. So if some group doesn't agree with another group, well, they just freeze your account. So I don't know. I think I'd rather take my chances with somebody putting a gun to my head versus some type of technology having the ability to shut my account down or freeze it in a second. So how safe are you? I think I'd rather depend on my own security versus the security on a computer. And remember, in a time of need, in an emergency, if you put your money somewhere physically, in a vault, in a safe, underground, etc., you will be able to access it within minutes at the worst possible time, where most people are going to run to their computers and those computers may not work, grids down, cyber attacks, hackers, etc. You can't access anything. The ATM cards don't work. The credit cards don't work. There's a limit on your account now. Maybe you can withdraw $20 a day, $50 a day, $100 a day. How many of you can survive on $100 a day? Pay your bills, pay utilities, make the car payment, make the mortgage payment, the rent on $100 a day, $200 a day. First off, I don't think anybody should have the right to tell you how much money you can access a day. If you have $10,000, $20,000, $100,000 in a bank, you should be able to walk in and take it all out that day if you want. You should be able to get $5,000 or $10,000 out of that account today without somebody asking you what it's for, or saying, well, we can't give you that much. We can only give you $2,000 today. You'll have to make an appointment to get the rest. I mean, think about how restrictive this is. And when things really begin to get bad, it's going to get very, very hard to get your money out of the bank. Here's another one from the hedge. New $600 million arms package for Ukraine marks 21st time U.S. draws from own stockpiles. Now, I have a problem with this, and I have nothing against people in Ukraine. I don't have anything against people in Russia. War is a terrible thing. I hope it ends. I hope this thing ends soon. Hope it ends peacefully. And I'm not here to get political with anybody, but we're talking finances here. Where in the world are we going to get another $600 million for this package while we have people starving in this country, food insecure in this country, people beginning to lose their houses, people being evicted, people having no money, people that don't have jobs, people that have nowhere to go as things are imploding here, yet we're going to give another $600 million to another country. I would love to know what you think about this. Comment down below. Here's another one. Argentina to hike interest rates to 75% as inflation nears 100%. We are beginning to see this happening all over the world. And to think that America is immune from this, you are drinking the Kool-Aid. You are in the matrix and you need to get out quickly. This is why I make these videos. This is why I appreciate all the comments down below. This is why I'm so happy so many people are awake and preparing, because when we read about what's happening in Lebanon, we see what's happening in Venezuela, we see what's happening in Argentina, we see what's happening all over the world, all over the globe. This is going to be a global depression, ladies and gentlemen, and look how bad it already is in so many parts of the world. Argentina to hike interest rates to 75% as inflation nears 100%. I'll tell you what, if you have gold in Argentina, you're very, very thankful. You're very, very thankful if you have gold in Argentina, because guess what? Gold will buy you food. Gold will buy you a house in Argentina. Gold will buy you water. Gold will buy you time. Gold will buy you security. Currencies, pesos, paper money, stocks aren't doing anything for the people in Argentina right now. I'll tell you what is. An ounce of gold. That's about the only thing that's worth anything down there. If you want to buy food, if you want to buy a house, if you need water, if you need anything, if you need a car, if you need something, they will take gold. Here's another one today, and I'm going to close with this article. Subway rider brutalized with baseball bat in Midtown Station. This from NBC New York. Two people attacked a subway rider Monday morning, 4:30 a.m. with a baseball bat. This guy's had major injuries, head trauma, still in the hospital, probably never going to be 100% again. And it's not just what's happening in New York, it's also what's happening across the country. The amount of violent crime in California, we're witnessing a crime wave here in California. I see what's happening in New York. We see what's happening all over the country. And I just think, as many of you do, what does this look like when the economy really gets bad? I mean, we have not hit the bottom. We're not even near the bottom. Wait till the stock market crashes. Wait till the housing market crashes. Wait till you see pension crashes. Wait till the food shortages get more severe. Wait till inflation gets more severe. You're going to see people lash out. You're going to see people commit very, very, very violent crime. And some people are going to do it just to lash out. Some people are going to do it just because they're angry and they want what you have. They're going to come to your house for food. They're going to want to steal your jewelry. They're going to want to steal whatever you have in order to sell it so that they can eat. And so to the people out there who've prepared, the people who have assets, the people who have things to lose, you better think about security. You know, we talk a lot about gold, and we talk a lot about silver and food and water and all these essential items that you're going to need. I cannot stress the importance of having security. Without security, you cannot protect anything you have, including yourself, including your family members. There are some very, very dangerous people walking the streets out there, and it doesn't matter where you live. Even out here in the desert, Palm Desert, we have so much crime in this area now. And you know, you just think about the people that you walk past every day. Somebody might have just been released. We've released thousands, tens of thousands of criminals out of the California system. You don't know who you're crossing paths with. You don't know who you're driving by, walking by. You don't know who's just hanging out at the mall, who's hanging out wherever you might be. You don't know where that individual came from. You have no idea what's in your environment. So you have to be so aware of your environment, using situational awareness and making sure you have your security in order. Make sure you have the right tools. You know, I watch so many people talk about prepare. You better have food. You better have you better have some firewood. You better have a propane tank. You better have a sweatshirt, and you better have some water. Well, that's great. But what happens when somebody wants to take it from you? These people never talk about that. They never talk about how to really prepare. Do you have the tactics and the training? Do you have the tools? Do you have the resources? Do you have the mindset? Do you have the right type of people in your network? Because there is strength in numbers without a doubt. Bad things are coming. Bad things are going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. And it's going to be the people prepared, the people who have the tools and the training, who are going to protect their families, their assets, their money, and their futures. And I cannot stress that enough. Again, these people who I see a lot of people, and I'm not judging anybody, and I'm not talking about anybody specifically, but I see people making these videos, and I think about what happens when bad people show up at their house. What happens if these people just showed up while they're walking? What would they do? I can tell that these people have absolutely no training. Most of them have never probably been in an altercation. If they have, they probably had their lunch money stolen from them as a kid. What are they going to do now? You know, you got to be getting in the mindset. You got to be training. I cannot stress the importance of going and getting a good firearm instructor and learning tactics, going and taking a jiu-jitsu class on a regular basis, Muay Thai, boxing, getting your body in better shape, hitting the gym, because you may be in a situation one day where you're going to need to know what to do. And if you're one of these people who just believes that it's never going to happen to them, that, oh, I'll just pick up my cell phone and call for help, you're going to be a victim. And I don't want to see you being a victim. But I see so many people talking the big game. and they look completely out of shape. They look weak, they look vulnerable, and they're just talk. And we today, as I leave you this weekend, do not be one of these people who just talks. Walk the walk, ladies and gentlemen. Walk the walk. Put your money where your mouth is. Get in better shape. Go take a class in MMA, jiu-jitsu, boxing, Muay Thai. Go get a firearms instructor and learn how to work with specific tactics and how to operate that tool and be proficient. I can't even stress that enough. Forget the gold, forget the silver, forget everything else. Think about being defensive. And if somebody broke through the doors at your house at 3 a.m., what would you do? If you were out with your family tonight, what would you do? What would you do? A lot of these people making these videos, I'll tell you what they would do. They do absolutely nothing. They would wet their pants, probably do a number 2 in their pants. That's what they would do. And then they'd be victimized. So I'm going to leave it there this weekend. Food for thought. What can you do this weekend to make yourself the hardest person in that room to kill? That's what we all need to be working on. So get out, train on tactics, train with those tools, train that body. And the only way that you're going to be able to do this is to go out and actually do it and walk the walk. Stop with the talk, get out, walk the walk. God bless every one of you. Make sure you thank God tonight for life. Pray for him for direction. Pray for him for protection. Pray for him for knowledge. This is spiritual warfare, ladies and gentlemen, and we need to get stronger mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially, and you need to do it starting today. God bless.